city for them to even say, yeah, we'll take you on board. So I had a lot of people, I guess you could say a lot of people backing me that were credible sources of entrepreneurship and business in Austin, right? So I'm not saying I got lucky, but apparently there was something I was saying that resonated with them, and it really helped a lot of people. So I was like, damn, people are paying to listen to me talk. You know, I got my bread too, but people are paying like a ticket price almost.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with y'all, I'm a high school dropout. I have no education. I have no degree, no high school no high school diploma. But that doesn't mean that you're not capable of doing something.
Thank you.
Okay? That's what I want people to understand. Don't let your mom, your dad, or whoever, especially if you're a minority, Indian, Asian, you know, I'm Persian, half Mexican, and you got to be a doctor, you got to be an engineer, you got to be this, and you're like the black sheep of the family if you don't have that, you know. But I'm a high school dropout, and I made stuff happen. But getting to the transition was, so obviously COVID, Corona, and all that threw everything off when it came down to workshops. And everything became online.
Any kind of
gatherings. I mean, we were putting together, like with SCORE, we were putting together these 50,000, 100,000. We were getting big old checks from Capital One and all these big players because they donated to SCORE to do the women's summit, and like, you know, all 1,000 people in there, whatever it was. But all that stuff got put on standby. But anyways, so COVID really messed up a lot, and then I just kind of chilled for a while. To be honest, I just really chilled. And then I was like, okay, I started taking TikTok a little bit more seriously, which we can get into that in a bit.
Yes.
But then more recently, I was in Mexico for a couple of weeks. I went to, December through January. And I came back from Mexico on January 6th. January 14th, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a new dessert business. And within 45 days, I put everything together and launched this. 45 days. 45 days.
That's so you, though.
That is so I just make it happen. And I make it happen. And actually, for those that, because I think y'all are the only two that know this, is you weren't in the room. 4 or 5 days before I was launching the business, which was March 1st, the whole thing was going to be hot, fresh churros at like events and call centers and corporate events, pop-ups and so on. And then all this other stuff on the side.
Yeah.
I eliminated the churros completely, and I'm just going to be pushing this kind of stuff.
Man.
And that was a big pivot because the whole thing is about churros, right?
Right.
But I'm going to turn this into Churros La Catrina, and we can get into details of that here in a bit. But yeah, so the transition was number one, I have experience in it. Number two, I know what works and what doesn't work. Number three is I realized that the majority of my customers, whether it was at my trailer, whether it was at an event, and the bigger spenders, okay, were Hispanics, okay? Because and I'm not saying this to kind of knock anybody, but what I noticed was, like, if a white family would come to the booth or the trailer, this is what they would say: Maddie, you can only get one and you have to share with Dylan. Or whatever, right? No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like, they'd get one item and share with like 2 or 3 kids.
Because they're super sugar conscious.
So much sugar, and you've had too much sugar for the day. And it's cool, right? It's cool. Yeah. You're a mom, you know, watching out for your kids.
Right.
But the Hispanics, mijo, okay, you get yours.
Yeah.
So my thing was, not only, obviously, I'm half Mexican, like straight Mexican, but I wanted to create something that can speak their language as well. So when you see La Catrina on there, that's a very unique Mexican symbol of something. You know, it's, you know, obviously celebrated, it's looked at, women paint their faces and all that. So I kind of capitalized multiple different ways from different angles to create this. And it's only been out for like 6 days, 7 days. But just watch the marketing. And like I was telling Cheryl, you know, a little earlier, is one thing about business is kind of like a relationship. You get smarter at a relationship after your first relationship, at a marriage after your first marriage. After you drive a car one time, you're smarter the second time.
Yeah.
So when I say I put something together in 45 days, it's because I know how to do the labels, the bleed of the labels, the packaging, it's like I've already been there, done that. So that's why I can get it done faster than the average person who hasn't.
On top of the already experiences you have with marketing and
Yep.
all that, so yeah,
It's all coming together, bro.
Yeah,
It's all.
and it's coming together lovely.
Oh no! Wait till you see. And just I forgot to throw this in there because this is one of the most important things. So my mother, we're from Santiago, Mexico, which is basically 20, 30 minutes south of Monterrey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where I was born in Monterrey, though. I was born in Monterrey. My mother was born in Santiago. Well, long story short is what I'm trying to do with this brand. Put it like this. We're in San Antonio, Texas right now. Anybody can slap a Mexican name on anything and say, Taco Garcia's Tacos or
Right,
Garcia's
right.
Tamales, right? And you're like, oh, it's so Mexican, right? But is it really a brand or is it just a business? Stop and think about that. A brand and a business are two different things.
Yes.
Okay. So my thing with this specific brand, Churros La Catrina, is really introducing the people here or worldwide, because Etsy and Instagram and TikTok, introducing them to Santiago, Nuevo León. That church, if you go to Churros La Catrina on Instagram or TikTok, which I just started that one, and you look at that first video, it's like a 1 minute, it's almost like a little music video. If you see that church, the drone shot, I was on the steps of that church on Christmas, and as soon as I came down the bottom of those stairs, or the steps, I'm sorry, I looked to my left and I see the churro guy, because he had a booth right there.
Wow.
So I'm talking to the churro guy, and we talk, he had a lot of customers, whatever, and it kind of sat in my head like, oh, open up a churro business. I'm like, oh, okay. But it wasn't until I came back that January 14th that I said, I'm opening up a churro business. So if you look at the very first words on the Instagram bio, Desde la Villa de Santiago, Nuevo León, because right there where the church is, they call it La Villa. So the idea was born right on the steps of that church in the video. Like, this is real deal. Like,
Wow.
this ain't no, oh, just it sounds Mexican, so let's do it. No, like the idea was really born on there. So the whole thing is La Catrina, she's coming. Like when Common had that one song, I Used to Love Her or I Used to Miss Her, whatever,
Yeah.
he was talking about hip hop, but you thought it was a girl. I'm talking about a brand, but you're thinking it's a girl.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's kind of the same
Great
concept.
marketing. Great deal. Hey, y'all, stay tuned. We've got more with Hamid Yaz coming up. But right now, we're about to go deep in the trenches with DJ Mercury. Hey, y'all, keep it locked. This is the Urban Suite, KSYM, San Antonio College Radio.